Hey everyone, welcome back to English Podcastle. I'm Lucia.
And I'm Dante. How's it going today?
Oh, I'm good actually. A bit tired though. I had the longest day yesterday.
Yeah? What happened?
Well, I got asked to help with three different things at work, and I said yes to all of them. So I ended up staying late, missing my yoga class, and eating dinner at 9 p.m.
Oh no, that sounds rough.
I know, right? And the funny thing is, I didn't even have to say yes to everything. I just did.
Hmm. Yeah, that's actually pretty common. A lot of people do that.
Do you do that?
Short pause? Sometimes. Not as much as I used to, but yeah, sometimes I still catch myself.
Hmm. Well, actually, that's kind of perfect because today we're talking about something super relevant to that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So we're talking about the power of saying no,
The power of saying no. I like that.
right? It sounds simple, but it's really not.
No, it's definitely not simple. I think it's one of those things that everyone knows they should do, but actually doing it, that's a whole different story.
Exactly. So, okay, let me ask you this. When was the last time you said no to something?
Hmm, let me think. Oh, actually, last week, my friend invited me to a party and I wasn't feeling it.
And you said no?
I did, yeah. I told him I needed to rest.
How did that feel?
Honestly, kind of bad at first. Like, I felt guilty, you know? But then the next day, I felt great because I actually did rest and I needed it.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. Because even when saying no is the right thing, we still feel guilty about it.
Totally. And I think that's the tricky part. It's like we're programmed to feel bad when we say no.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of it comes from childhood, actually.
Oh, how so?
Well, think about it. When you're a kid, you're taught to be polite, to help people, to not be selfish. And those are good things, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it gets a bit extreme.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like you're taught that saying no is rude.
Exactly. And then you grow up and you carry that with you. So even as an adult, you feel like saying no makes you a bad person.
That's so true. I remember when I was younger, I would say yes to everything every favor, every invitation, every request.
And how did that work out for you?
Not great. I was exhausted all the time, and honestly, I wasn't even happy.
Right, because you were doing things for other people, but not for yourself.
Exactly. And the weird thing is, I thought I was being a good friend, a good person by always saying yes. But really, I was just burning myself out.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. Saying yes to everything doesn't make you a better person, it just makes you tired.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So, when did you start saying no more often?
Hmm. Probably in my mid 20s. I had this moment where I realized I couldn't keep going like that.
What happened?
Well, I had agreed to help a friend move apartments, and I was already super busy that week, but I said yes anyway because I didn't want to disappoint him.
Mm hmm.
So the day comes, and I'm there carrying boxes, and I'm just miserable, like genuinely miserable. And I remember thinking, why am I doing this?
Yeah,
And that's when it hit me. I didn't have to be there. I could have said no. My friend would have been fine. He had other people helping him.
right. So, it wasn't even necessary.
Exactly. And I think that's the case a lot of the time. We say yes to things that aren't even necessary.
Yeah. Or we say yes because we're afraid of what people will think if we say no.
Oh, for sure. That's a huge one.
Like, we worry that people will think we're selfish or lazy or, I don't know, just not nice.
Hmm. And sometimes people do react badly when you say no.
That's true. But I think that says more about them than it does about you.
How do you mean?
Well, if someone gets upset because you set a boundary, that's their issue. Like, a real friend or a good person will understand that you have your own limits.
Yeah, that's a good point. And honestly, the people who do get upset, maybe those aren't the people you want in your life anyway.
Exactly. It's like a filter.
Yeah, the no filter.
I like that. The no filter. It helps you figure out who really respects you.
Totally. So, okay, let me ask you this. What's the hardest kind of no to say?
Oh, that's a good question. Hmm. I think probably saying no to people you care about.
Yeah?
Yeah, because with strangers or acquaintances, it's easier. You don't have that emotional connection. But when it's your family or your close friends, it's then when it gets really hard.
I agree. It feels more personal.
Right, and you don't want to hurt their feelings or make them think you don't care.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, saying no doesn't mean you don't care. It just means you're taking care of yourself.
Exactly. And I think that's something people need to hear more often. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish.
No, it's necessary. Like if you don't take care of yourself, you can't really show up for other people anyway.
That's such a good point. It's like the oxygen mask on airplanes.
Oh, yeah, the classic example.
I know, it's cliche, but it's true. You have to put your own mask on first before you can help anyone else.
Exactly. And saying no is kind of like putting your own mask on.
Yeah, it's about prioritizing your own needs so that you can be there for others when it really matters.
Hmm. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong. They think saying yes all the time makes them a better friend or a better person, but actually, it just makes them resentful.
Oh, totally. Because when you say yes to things you don't want to do, you start to build up this frustration.
Yeah, and then you're not even fully present when you're doing the thing.
Right. You're just going through the motions, thinking about all the other stuff you'd rather be doing.
Exactly. So nobody wins.
Nobody wins. That's the irony of it. You think you're helping, but you're not really helping anyone, including yourself.
Yeah. So, what do you think is the key to saying no in a good way?
Mm. I think it's about being honest but kind.
Okay, what does that look like?
Well, instead of just saying no and leaving it at that, you can explain a little bit. Like, I'd love to help, but I'm really busy right now, or I need some time for myself this weekend.
Hmm.
But you don't have to over explain. That's the other thing. People sometimes feel like they need to give a whole story to justify their no.
Oh, yeah, I've done that. Like, I can't come because my cat is sick, and also I have a headache and my car broke down.
Right. And it's like you don't owe anyone that much explanation.
No, you really don't. A simple, I can't make it is enough.
Exactly. And I think the more you practice saying no, the easier it gets.
For sure. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes.
Yeah. And over time, you start to realize that the world doesn't fall apart when you say no.
Right. People move on.
They do. And honestly, most of the time, they don't even care that much.
Yeah, I think we build it up in our heads way more than we need to.
Totally. Like you imagine this big dramatic reaction, and then you say no, and the person is just like, okay, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, wait, that's it?
Right. All that stress for nothing.
So true. But I do think there are times when saying no is harder because the stakes are higher.
Yeah, like what?
Well, like at work, for example. If your boss asks you to take on an extra project, it's harder to say no.
Oh, absolutely, because there's a power dynamic there.
Exactly. You don't want to seem like you're not a team player or that you're not committed.
Right. But I think even in those situations, there are ways to set boundaries.
How?
Well, you can say something like, I'd be happy to help with that, but I'm currently working on X and Y. Can we prioritize which one's most important?
Ooh, that's good. So you're not saying no directly, but you're still setting a boundary.
Exactly. You're basically making it clear that you can't do everything, and you're asking for guidance on what to prioritize.
I like that. It's a softer way of saying no without actually saying the word.
Yeah, and I think that can be really useful in professional settings where you don't want to come across as difficult.
Hmm. But at the same time, I think it's important not to be too soft, you know?
What do you mean?
Like sometimes people are so worried about being polite that they don't actually communicate their limits. And then they end up overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's a good point. You have to find that balance between being kind and being clear.
Exactly. Because if you're too vague, people might not get the message.
Right, they might think you're fine with taking on more.
Yeah. So clarity is important.
Definitely. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle. They want to be nice, so they say things like, maybe, or I'll try, when they really mean no.
Oh, yeah. The classic maybe.
Right, which is basically just a delayed no.
Exactly. And then the other person keeps hoping, and you feel even worse when you eventually have to say no.
Yeah, it's like you're just dragging it out.
Totally. So it's better to just be upfront from the start.
Agreed. Even if it feels uncomfortable in the moment, it's better in the long run.
For sure. And honestly, I think people appreciate honesty more than we realize.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, if someone tells me they can't do something, I'm not going to be upset as long as they're honest about it.
Exactly. It's the lack of clarity that's frustrating.
Right. Or when someone says yes, but then does a bad job because they didn't really want to do it.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst. I'd rather someone just say no.
Same. Like, just be real with me.
Yeah. So, do you think there are situations where you should say yes, even if you don't want to?
That's tricky. I think it depends on the situation.
Like, what kind of situations?
Well, I think if it's something really important to someone you care about and it's not going to completely drain you, then maybe it's worth saying yes.
Okay, like what?
Like if your best friend is going through a really hard time and asks you to come over and talk, even if you're tired, I think that's worth saying yes to.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's different from saying yes to, like, carrying boxes for an acquaintance.
Right. It's about weighing the importance of the request against your own capacity.
Mm hmm. And I think the key is to ask yourself, will I regret saying no to this?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, because if the answer is yes, then maybe you should say yes. But if the answer is no, then you should probably say no.
I like that. It's like a little mental check in.
Exactly. And I think over time, you get better at knowing which is which.
Yeah, it becomes more intuitive.
Totally. Like you start to recognize the difference between something that's genuinely important and something that's just noise.
Right. And you start to realize that not everything requires your attention or your energy.
Exactly. And that's so freeing.
It really is. Like, once you realize you don't have to do everything, it's like this weight lifts off your shoulders.
Yeah. And then you have more time and energy for the things that actually matter to you.
Exactly, because that's the thing. When you say no to stuff that doesn't matter, you're actually saying yes to yourself.
Ooh, I like that. That's a nice way to put it.
Thanks, I just thought of it.
Well, that's good. It's like every no is actually a yes to something else.
Exactly. Like if you say no to going out when you're tired, you're saying yes to rest.
Right. Or if you say no to taking on an extra project at work, you're saying yes to having time for your current projects.
hmm Or saying yes to your mental health.
Exactly. It's all about priorities.
Yeah, and I think that's what people need to remember. It's not about being selfish, it's about being intentional with your time and energy.
Totally. Because your time and energy are limited.
They are, and if you give them away to everyone and everything, you won't have anything left for yourself.
Right. And then you're no good to anyone.
Exactly. So saying no is actually an act of self preservation.
Oh, I love that. Self preservation. That makes it sound less negative.
Right, because saying no has such a negative connotation, but really, it's a positive thing.
It is. It's about protecting your energy and your well being.
hmm And I think once people start to see it that way, it becomes easier.
For sure. It's a mindset shift.
Yeah, instead of thinking I'm being mean, you think I'm taking care of myself.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all. Actually, it's one of the best things you can do for yourself.
Agreed. So before we wrap up, is there anything else you think people should know about saying no?
Thinking. I think just that it's okay. Like, it's really, truly okay to say no.
Yeah.
You don't have to feel guilty about it. You don't have to apologize for it. It's your right.
Mm-hmm. And exercising that right doesn't make you a bad person.
Not at all. Smiles. It makes you a person who values themselves.
Exactly. And that's a good thing.
It is. So, yeah, I guess my final thought is just be kind to yourself. Give yourself permission to say no.
I love that. Permission to say no. That should be a t-shirt.
Right? I'd wear that.
Me too. Okay, well, I think that's a great place to end.
Yeah, I think so too. So, thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, we really appreciate you being here.
And we hope this conversation was helpful.
Maybe it gave you something to think about.
And if you're someone who struggles with saying no, we hope you'll give it a try. Start small, be kind to yourself.
Exactly. And remember, it gets easier with practice.
It does. All right, take care, everyone.
Take care. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.